guys. So today, because I only picked up 2 comics this week, we're going to go through this short box, which I'm not sure what's in here, and I took out the first pack of issues, and now I'm worried about past purchases. This should be books that this should be books that I purchased before. I think was it before we got married? Anyways, my girlfriend at the time, wife now. One of her co-workers, her husband was a comic book collector, and at one point, he was trying to get rid of his stuff, and he found out that I was a collector. So he sent me a list of all the books that he had in storage to see if I would like to purchase any. So of course I went insane, and I picked up most, honestly, of what he was offering. I think the only things I skipped were things where I knew I had it, or I think I skipped a lot of Power Man and Iron Fist because I just wasn't interested. But I, for the longest time, had about a 70-page Word document with 2 columns, which were my collection. And every time I would go to the comic book store, I would add the new comics to that list. And then what I was also doing for a long time was so that I would have a visual representation of my collection, I would actually scan the covers on a scanner and keep basically a JPEG image of the covers of all of my books. Now, eventually, my wife accidentally killed that computer. It was like day 1 of it not being protected by Microsoft, and she downloaded some sort of coupon program that immediately crashed the computer and killed it. So I still have the files. I kept that hard drive, but I stopped doing the scanning in the Word document just because we didn't really have a desktop after that. We have some laptops, but nothing I use on the regular. So these should be some of those books that I bought from him. I think I ended up buying like 4 long boxes from him, and crazily enough, he charged me the cover price. So you can only imagine my glee. I think I ended up paying him more than cover price because it was like, that's just stupid, sir. Because all this stuff was 70s and 80s. And I like the stuff, so let's take a look. What's getting me is this first issue. I know that I just bought out of the bin at my local comic book store recently. And I don't think it's the one I bought. I'm pretty sure this is just a second issue that I have. So we got Iron Man, and I think these will be in order by series. And he was collecting pretty regularly. So we have 142, and then straight into 143. Bob Layton artwork. Let's see, 145. Iron Man is the most interesting rogues gallery because it's all like really, I don't know, he seems to have a lot of rogues, but they're all like really sad in comparison to Iron Man, like here's Black Clash. I mean, it's a guy with a whip, for God's sakes. And somehow he's hurt Iron Man in his metal flying suit. I don't know if the whip is made out of, I don't know, maybe it's adamantium or something, but It seems like this guy in a purple cape with a whip should be pretty easy for Iron Man to dispatch, you know? We got 147. I love Bob Layton Iron Man. Just it's like a classic, like, I don't know, when I think Iron Man, like classic outfit, I think of this outfit. I do have a final Iron Man statue, which is basically this outfit. I think the head's a little bit different, but it's about as close to like perfect as I could get. Apologies for the weird noises, these come apart. When I bought these, I rebagged and boarded everything because he had added in storage, so I went through and put new bags and boards on everything because they were getting a little, cruddy. That's a cool, I don't know if Iron Man's coming up. I guess he's coming up through the floor. I don't know, I thought it was cooler when he was going down. Wow, classic. This is the double-sized 150th anniversary issue with Iron Man and Doctor Doom when they go back in time. This is one of those that Marvel will reprint every now and then for their dollar series or things like that. Just an awesome looking cover too. Next we have Iron Man and Ant-Man. All out action with the astonishing Ant-Man. Maybe Iron Man will show up too, it says. Oh, and then it looks like we head into Thor after this, so let me put Iron Man aside. Let's see, let's go into the Thor. So let's see, we have Thor 273. I love these old Thors. Just great stuff. 1978, 35-cent cover price. He's fighting the Midgard Serpent. This is really like if I was going to jettison my entire collection but keep only certain things, I would keep every Marvel Comics group with the little side panel guys. That's like my sweet spot, I think. Let's see, this one's pretty beat up. This is Thor 249. I'm pretty sure that's, is that Kirby? Yeah, that's Kirby art. For a second I almost said Simonson, but it's Kirby. You can tell because all the Asgardians look like new gods. Let's take some more out of the top here. More Thor. We have, let's see, Avalon, the keeper of the inner cosmos. That's a cool looking. I don't know who Avalon is, but he's an interesting looking figure. This is 20 cents, so this is even older. This is issue 220. Issue 205, Mephisto. That's an awesome one with Sif and Vandroll and let's see here, Vandroll. I was a huge Thor fan, but it's been a while. I won't lie. I mean, plus, honestly, nowadays, do you see the Warriors 3 that often in Thor comics? It really doesn't seem like it. Last time I read Thor was the series by Donny Cates, right before Donny Kate's like disappeared off the face of the earth, I guess. And I mean, honestly, that, you know, I think you saw Sif, because I think she was standing in for Heimdall, but you really don't see the Warriors 3 as much. Oh, and then suddenly we're back to Iron Man. Let's see, Iron Man King Size Annual with Iron Man and the champions. I was like, this is a weird assortment of guys. Ghost Rider, Hercules, Black Widow, Iceman, Angel. Everybody's fighting MODOK. I don't know why Iron Man has angry face all of a sudden. It's so weird to see it with like an expressive face. That's not what it's supposed to look like. And Iron Man number 157. I think I just picked this up recently too. That's the problem with me not having a full working word list of everything I own, because I go and pick stuff up and it's like, ooh, look at this cool thing in the cheap bin. I'm gonna pick that up. I don't have that. Sure enough, I do. Let's see, it looks like next we have some what if. What if the Avengers defeated everybody? And they meant everybody, because we got Magneto, Angel, Doctor Strange, Namor. They just beat up everybody, not just the villains, it looks like. The word balloon at the bottom here says caution. This may not be the best story you've ever heard, but with a cover like this, how bad could it be? Not a glowing endorsement. Let's see, now these are Marvel's greatest comics, starring the Fantastic Four. So what this is basically, these are reprints that were sold in 1980 of issues from like the late 60s, early 70s. So the really early, those first probably 100 issues of FF. This is basically just a reprint, but it's a reprint from 1980. These have actually gotten pretty popular recently, just because they're still of the time. They still have a really like retro look to them. And honestly, a lot of times you can get these for cheaper than like a more current reprint would be. Let's see. For a while there, I was just really into getting FF comics. So we have Greatest Comics starring the FF. Reed Richards is replaced by Dr. Doom. That'll be interesting. Well, and then suddenly back to Iron Man. I don't know what I did, if I shuffled these or what. Iron Man versus a tank. I don't know what's going on here. And Iron Man 156, the Mahler Mandate. Just always interesting covers. And I think this is what you're missing from modern comics, like this big, what's going to happen in this issue? We're trying to sell you this issue. I don't feel like they do that as much anymore, right? Nowadays it's more of a static shot, or a static image. They're not really trying to sell you anything. They're trying to just, put a cool cover up there. Let's see. What if Spider-Man's clone lived? Well, they sure went back on this one, didn't they? This is a really cool cover, because, one Spider-Man in dark, and then the other one trapped in this tube. I have an ad for Spider-Man and his amazing friends beginning September Marvel 2-in-1 Annual, The Thing. And basically, if you've never heard of Marvel 2-in-1, it's always The Thing plus another character. And this one is introducing American Eagle, who I've never heard of, so I don't think he went anywhere. 2-in-1 with The Thing and Hulk. I recognize this as one of the space elder guys, but I don't know if his name is the Stranger. I can't remember. Those Marvel space guys from the olden days are always so just very flamboyant looking. And The Thing and Sandman at the bar. Apparently they're getting on just fine. Things you would never see on a comic now. You know, The Thing having a Miller, cigarettes all over the place. Just The Thing being in a bar, I feel like would probably be something they wouldn't do anymore. Trying to go from one side to the other, but I don't think there's in any particular order, so you can just grab from the center and see what happens. Let's see, we have Marvel Premiere featuring Wonder Man. Wonder Man's first solo saga. This looks like is it the Destroyer from Thor? Doesn't look like him, but this head helmet thing isn't looking right. I know they're having a Wonder Man series that's coming out on Disney Plus in 2026. I don't know what much to think on that one. Wonder Man's never been that exciting to me. Let's see, Marvel Superheroes, The Incredible Hulk. So this will be a reprint of a more early Hulk adventure. Apparently Hulk has been shrunk and he's fighting some rats. Hulk versus a jury trial with Matt Murdock as his attorney, of course, because Matt Murdock has nothing better to do but guest star in every Marvel trial. It would almost be funny if they had a Marvel trial where the attorney walked in and it wasn't Matt Murdock or Foggy Nelson. You'd probably be expecting it no matter what. If somebody else walked in, if anything, it would be a shocker. Let's see, this is the one right before, so this is the Hulk trial. We have Marvel Superheroes 98. Hulk versus something that Kirby thought up on a whim. You can always kind of tell the Jack Kirby designs. Marvel Superhero Hulk versus the Absorbing Man. They look to be riding on a rocket, which really isn't going to be good for the Absorbing Man. He'd be dead. I think I can say that pretty definitively. And Hulk versus the Nightcrawler. Clearly way before Nightcrawler, the X-Man. Herb Trimpe art. You can tell he didn't put a huge amount of time into this one. This is Herb Trimpe on a, it was his day off and somebody said they needed a cover for Marvel Superheroes. It's like, okay, let me throw together some cross-hatching and I won't put too much time into it. Let's see, we have some Suicide Squad. I wonder which one came first, right? Oh my. Ghost Rider 40, Nuclear Family. Number 41, The Man Who Was Ghost Rider. I think I've always wanted to like Ghost Rider more than I do. The Lonesome Death of Johnny Blaze. And then Ghost Rider versus Johnny Blaze. Ghost Rider's always looked cool, and I'm a motorcycle guy myself. But what gets me is the Marvel comics. They always try to have him with some B plot, C plot people, and they always put him like in a carnival, and then that's just a assortment of like stereotypical carnies. And it's never anything that keeps my interest. So the minute they start going to those B and C plots, it's just agonizing. This is Marvel 2-in-1, The Thing versus the Ghost Rider Death Race. Clearly this is cheating because the Thing is flying, so he doesn't have to obey the rules of the road, and he can just fly over obstacles. That's just cheap. The Thing and Blue Diamond. Introducing the cosmic might of Star Dancer. I've never heard of Blue. Oh, I got Blue Diamond is on the ground over here. Here we go. Blue Diamond is this dead dude. and Star Dancer is this lady, I guess. Never heard of either of them. Obviously, neither of them took off. The Thing and Wonder Man. I always forget that Wonder Man's like an actor. That's his shtick. I don't know if all the things to do a Marvel TV series on Wonder Man is like the least interesting. I'm sure he has fans. I would assume everybody has fans, right? But Wonder Man, no, just boredom. The Thing and Man Thing. Hey, The Thing and Captain America. Oh, he's getting uglier because of Virus X. The fatal effects of Virus X. I mean, this is just cool stuff. Oh, The Thing and the Puppet Master. I thought it was just gonna be The Thing versus what's that? Oh, the Nutcracker. And The Thing and Quasar. Fighting dinosaurs. You know, the thing that's always gotten me about, like, we have Captain Marvel, we have Quasar, we have, there's a couple other, like, there's like 5 or 6 heroes, right, that have mega bands, and I'm always kind of I can't keep track of who's who and how they're related. Like my friend who I played HeroClix with for the longest time, he was big into the Marvel space stuff. And I mean, I've dabbled, but it's not, nowadays everybody's read, some Guardians of the Galaxy and things like that, but he was into all that, those weird, the Beyonder and the Collector and all that stuff, and I just couldn't do it. Plus, too, he'd be constantly telling me how, this character's more powerful than every other character. I'd be like, man, preface this, in the 90s, during the boom, before the bust, I was a huge Scarlet Spider fan and Green Goblin fan. Green Goblin had his own series where it was, not Ben Reilly, because that's Spider-Man. It was Ben Urich. What is a Urich? It was the son of that reporter from the Daily Bugle. Or maybe his grandson even. No, I think it was his son. But he happened upon a cache of Green Goblin tech. And this is when Norman and Harry were both, I think, dead. Or presumed to be dead. So for a while there, he was running around as a heroic Green Goblin. And I have all 12 or 13 issues of that series. I was a huge fan of it. For whatever reason. And so, this is him guest starring in Scarlet Spider. Let's see, we have Fantastic Four, the 9-cent adventure. Because for a while, DC and Marvel were kind of fighting with these, cheap entry point comics to get people buying. Not to be outdone, this was only 9 cents. We also have the Superman 10-cent adventure. Of course, if you look realistically, this is by Mark Waid and Mike Wieringo, and this is by Steven Seagle and Scott McDaniel on art. Let's see. Oh, this is a cool one. Thor. Cry of the Death Angel. See, this looks like one of those cosmic guys that my friend Marvin would tell me was, the best thing since sliced bread, and how he's way more powerful than Thor. Iron Man 94. This is a oldie. This is Jack Kirby art. You can tell he's got the Kirby crackle on the sword for some reason, and everything's just very, I don't know, his faces are always blocky to me, and he tends to put weird, the way he does shading is always really, I don't know, wavy, and it moves. Oh, this is a cool one. Iron Man versus Frankenstein. And Iron Man versus Dread Knight. Dread Knight looks pretty cool, but at the same time, he's got one laser lance versus Iron Man. I don't think he's gonna win. Things are falling over the box. Let's see here. We might finish the box and then that'll be it. Because it's gonna go for a while. Let's see. We have Marvel Superheroes Incredible Hulk. Hulk versus the biker gang that's in over their head. Marvel doing one thing and Nighthawk. This is before they, had Nighthawk and Hyperion in their own universe and had them become, hardcore. The Thing and Modred, the Mystic. God, what a hard to read name, Modred. For a while there, it seemed like Marvel had 4 or 5 different mystical heroes for no real good reason. They had Doctor Strange for the longest time. They had Dr. Druid. And here's a third one. The Thing and Iron Fist. That's pretty, look at that. They're fighting on a rope. Number 1, the Thing would have broken that rope. Number 2, the Thing could, I don't think the Thing is going to balance on a rope. Ever. Marvel Superheroes, the Incredible Hulk. versus Hulk. And Marvel superheroes, Hulk versus Captain Axis. Like, sure as heck wouldn't be putting a swastika on comics nowadays. Nowadays, that would be a Hydra symbol, just to get around it. Another meeting of Thing and Quasar. I like Quasar's later outfit. This one was too like Prince Valiant. He doesn't even look like a modern superhero. Let's see, Marvel doing featuring the Thing and Beast, Ms. Marvel, Wonder Man, and Nick Fury. A weird gathering of, I guess, Avengers. Thing versus Thing. His more original look here. He was a lot more lumpy originally. And I think Jack must have realized, like, we need to give him a brow and something I can play with. Thing versus the Yancey Street Gang. It's always been one of the weirdest little side stories. Thing and the Incredible Hulk. Oh, they're fighting at the TV studio. Battle in Burbank. This is when the Hulk TV show was big. The Thing and Captain Marvel. See, now this is issue 45, and he was with Quasar in issue 53. And I swear, and I'm probably wrong. Like I said, I'm not a huge Marvel space guy, but I swear Marvel isn't Captain Marvel and Quasar kind of the same guy. The Thing and Man-Thing and Captain America and a Cosmic Cube. Who's this guy with the Cosmic Cube? Victim of Victorious and the Cosmic Cube. I guess his name is Victorious. That's a presumptuous name. And right before it we have the Thing and Captain America, Project Pegasus and the Cosmic Cube. I bet the Cosmic Cube isn't as powerful in these issues. And then we have the Thing and Brother Voodoo. Another one of the Marvel mystic guys. I mean, Brother Voodoo pops up here and there every now and then. They'll dust him off and bring him out. I hate it when stuff like rearranges itself. Let's see, we have the Thing and Giant Man. The Thing battles Thundra. Looks like he's losing, plus he had already broken his arm. The Thing and One Door. Never gonna hear from him again, are we? The Thing and Moon Dragon. Also featuring Starhawk. I'm amazed that Moon Dragon has kept this, like, insanely erotic outfit for as long as she has. The Thing and Skull the Slayer. Never heard of that guy. Marvel doing one was always kind of like a way for them to introduce people and see if it clicked or not. The Thing and Iceman. you see him with this little domino mask. That's not something that they kept for any length of time, honestly. If you play Marvel Avengers Lego, you can be Hyperion, and he's basically their Superman, obviously. But it does not have a domino mask. Let's see, the Thing and the Angel. That's actually really cool. We got Angel with a sword here. Thing's looking a little perturbed. And the Thing battles the Guardians of the Galaxy. Now this is the first iteration of Guardians of the Galaxy, so this is Yondu. And some guys whose name I forget, but these are the guys that really started Guardians of the Galaxy before that relaunch with all the guys you would know from the movies. That crew from the movies was more of a what was it, the like 2000s when that book with Star-Lord came out, where they put them all together. I want to say that's about the time that book came out, and they did, they put together Star-Lord and Groot and Rocket. What if Daredevil became an agent of S.H.I.E.L.D.? That looks like, yeah, I think that is Frank Miller art. Or maybe John Romita. No, it does look like Frank Miller, pretty sure. Oh, Marvel doing one Thing and Submariner. MODOK's just so cool looking. My son loves the Lego Avengers game, mostly because he accidentally deleted Marvel's Superheroes, our save file. We had worked our way through the entire game and unlocked almost everything, and he is very impatient with the video game loading. And one day they were loading that up, and he was a little bit younger, and he just started wailing on those buttons, and he did something. So our save file was gone, and my daughter was very saddened by this because we had played it together and unlocked everybody. And my son just likes to run around in New York City. He doesn't really want to play levels. And I tried to get the save file back, but I mean, you lose the save file and you lose the save file. Marvel Superheroes Incredible Hulk. This must be like the first appearance of Doc Samson. A reprint of it, I should say. Marvel Superheroes as a reprint. But the Avengers game, thankfully that survived, because that's a whole different game. It's all the Marvel's movie superheroes, so it doesn't involve X-Men or anybody that wasn't in the movies. They had a Spider-Man pack eventually, which I bought. So we do have like Spider-Man and I don't know what's going on here. We have Spider-Man, we have Scarlet Spider, Spider-Girl. That's an interesting one. That save file was fine, so for about 6 months now, he's just wanted to play that. But recently, I showed him that Marvel Superheroes, if we play through it, he can have all these characters he can't have in the Avengers game. Because right now he's watching the Spider-Man web-spinning show on Disney, and the Iron Man and his, Amazing Friends, can't be Iron Man and the Iron Friends, whatever. But he really wanted to play as Dr. Octopus, and that character's not in the Avengers game. So we've gotten him to the point where he's agreed to play some levels so that they can unlock New York City in the Marvel Superheroes game, play with all those guys. This is awesome. I don't know who Maelstrom is, but he's really cool looking. This is weird how lit he is, but he's really tall and has a big head. And humans kind of floating around. That's a cool one. The Thing and Mr. Fantastic. This looks like, that one leads into that one. I'm gonna put these two aside because I want to find out about Maelstrom. This is a favorite from my childhood. This is Spider-Man Team Up featuring the X-Men. I remember reading this on a plane ride once. Very 90s, obviously. Very X-Men animated series. This is, during the height of the boom, and also the height of, Spider-Man, the animated series, and the X-Men animated series. And The Thing and question mark. Who knows? I wonder if this goes along with... I'm going to put this one on the side because that Maelstrom storyline is 71, 72. Maybe this has to do with it. We'll put that over there. Let's see, we got a few more. But anyways, we're hoping he'll play through levels and we'll actually be able to get to a place where he can play in the city with all the all the characters you get in the Marvel Superheroes game that you can't get in the Avengers movie one. Let's see, what if Phoenix had not died? That artwork is really weird and sketchy. I want to know what happened if Phoenix had not died. That's going in a pile. Captain America had been elected president. Oh, there's Thing. I'm guessing that's Sue Storm and Mr. Fantastic. There's Colonel Fury. That's probably the Falcon. Maybe Wonder Man. I don't know. Oh, is that Reagan? Interesting. What if Thor and the Avengers battled the gods? I know I have this one. I bought this before. What if issues are always fun to go through the back issues of because they're cheap and they're always like, why not? What if Spider-Man had rescued Gwen Stacy? Pretty sure I own 2 of these. What if Doctor Strange had not become Master of the Mystic Arts? So it's Mordo instead. Or Mordo. Let's see, Ghost Rider number 50. Featuring the Knight Rider. Now this guy originally was called Ghost Rider when he first debuted. I have his debut issue. It was a Western Tales or something like that. And originally he was called Ghost Rider because he's supposed to look like a ghost. But when they came up with this Ghost Rider, they basically copied the name. Ghost Rider versus the Manticore. That's so freaking weird looking. Look at that thing. With Hawkeye and Two Gun Kid. Interesting lineup. And, oh god, Ghost Rider versus aliens. Aliens who ride motorcycles. Oh snap. I don't pity them having to come up with storylines every month for probably 50 titles. I'm having trouble spacing these out now. I've run out of space. Let's see, Ghost Rider 44. I'm assuming maybe that's Johnny Blaze, hard to tell. 45. Seems to be running into a plane. Interesting. 7. Ghost Rider has like no villains, right? 48. Sort of vampire bats. I swear he's got like, what, Mephisto and like Dark Garden. That's the only ones I can name off the top of my head. 49, fighting some Native Americans for no reason. Oh, this is a cool one. Thor 306, Fire Lord's Final Battle. Look at that, that's beautiful. That's going on the read pile. There we go. Oh, Iron Man 72. See, look, he's got Whiplash. The Melter, who he's got a ray gun. Man Bull. Oh my gosh. And the Black Llama. God. Let's see. Oh, I think this is when he's shrunk down to the Atom World. I forget what that tiny world's called. The one where it's all within an atom. And he meets that girl that he gets married to. Hulk and Submariner. That's a cool one. That looks like Crimson Dynamo, but I don't think it's supposed to be. Take a look at Mogul. I love Hulk from this time period because it's always just easy. Like, for the longest time, it's one of those comics you can just pick up and read because it's, Hulk lands from his most recent issue. Hulk fights whatever's at the location of his landing, and then Hulk jumps away. And then the next issue is he lands. He gets into a situation, and he jumps away. Ends up being like episodic TV. Let's see, Hulk versus the Avengers. Hulk versus a dictator. I don't know where Draxon is. It's that place we gotta go back to. Hulk versus a lot of different guys. We got Absorbing Man, Abomination Rhino, some kind of muck guy, one of the Demolition guys, and I think that's Mandarin. Spider-Man and King Cole. Now that's a team up. What the hell? Let's go into the side. Why is Spider-Man and King Cole teaming up? How are they teaming up? Another Spider-Man and Quasar. This is when Spider-Man took over for the Thing, or vice versa. I forget which one came first. I want to say Marvel Team, or no, 2-in-1 was Thing. Team Up is always Spider-Man, that's right. So Spider-Man and Quasar. I gotta read these Quasar issues so I know who the hell Quasar is. Ooh, that's a cool one. Spider-Man and Captain America versus the Scorpion, apparently. That's his tail. I'm gonna have to put that one aside. That one looks like that cover is really like grabbing me, right? Let's see, Marvel team up with the Hulk this time. Hulk and Power Man and Iron Fist. Spider-Man and Iron Man. That's a cool one. Spider-Man and Dazzler. She's lucky she made it out of the 70s. God, are they... serpent guys. Spider-Man and Paladin. Paladin was like almost like a Punisher ripoff that they had for a while. Spider-Man and She-Hulk. And Spider-Man and the Falcon. I guess I'll move this to the side. I have the football game in the background, but honestly, the slate of games recently has been garbage. I don't know. Spider-Man and Thor. That's a cool one too. The Menace of the Mind Bender. Spider-Man and Valkyrie. Spider-Man and Devil Slayer. Never heard of Devil Slayer in my life. Never seen Devil Slayer in my life. Marvel double feature. Captain America and Iron Man. Now these are early ones because these are 20 cents. Marvel double feature. Number 2. Not used to seeing, here, let me show you. Not used to seeing Mandarin with a mask. Double feature number 5, Cap and the Red Skull. And double feature number 8 versus the Super Adaptoid. I forget if these are reprints of the early Spider-Man or not Spider-Man, the early Captain America and Iron Man comics, or if they're newer. I don't remember if they're reprints or not. Here, I'm gonna put some of these back in the box because we need to. If I'm gonna be putting things up against the box, I need something to be in there. And we're down to our last chunk here. So let's look at the last ones. Okay, last batch here. Let's see, we have the Thing and Spider-Woman. Kind of a cool one. The Final Fate of Giant Man on the bottom there. Of course, he wouldn't be murdered until Civil War by that Thor clone. The Thing and Alpha Flight. That's something you don't see every day. Alpha Flight. The Thing and the Sasquatch. God, Sasquatch is huge. Is he always that big? This is a funny one, based on later. What if the Hulk had become a barbarian? I paused it there for the dogs. Oh man, there they go again. Thanks. Thank you, neighbors. Marvel double feature, Captain America and Black Panther. Let's see, another Hulk versus Power Man and Iron Fist, it seems. Oh, and Machine Man. Why are they breaking Machine Man? Marvel superheroes, Incredible Hulk versus the Mandarin, and Sandman in an outfit just looks hilarious. I don't know why. Ooh. Marvel premiere with Doctor Strange. That's a great illustration because it's all like hatchety and like almost looks like some easy comics, you know. We're gonna put that one aside because that's just too cool. Jack of Hearts. One of those D-list Avengers is disassembled. Man Wolf. Let's see. Oh, another issue of Man Wolf. I mean, hey, look, it looks cool. I mean, I can't say too much because I mean, look how awesome this looks. I mean, Man Wolf, yeah, I'm with it. Marvel Premiere Falcon. Marvel double feature Captain America and Iron Man. And last but not least, another Marvel double feature Cap and Iron Man. Awesome. This was a good box. I will have to pay attention to what I buy in back issues though, because we had some double ups on the Iron Man. So I hope you guys enjoyed. When I have time, maybe I'll try to do some of these longer ones where we just look at an entire box. It's fun for me because I forget what I have sometimes. And I hope it's fun for you guys too. So I will see you guys later. Hopefully those dogs didn't wake anyone up.